proceeding to the fourth session, मैं आमंत्रित करना चाहूँगा उत्तमा मैम को, जो चित्रकला विभाग में एसोसिएट प्रोफेसर हैं और कई आयोजनों की सूत्रधार रही हैं। अनेक आयोजन उन्होंने कराए हैं और बहुत प्रसिद्ध चित्रकार भी हैं, और शोध के क्षेत्र में इन्होंने अनेक शोध विद्यार्थियों को मार्गदर्शन प्रदान किया है। तो मैं उत्तमा मैम से अनुरोध करूंगा कि वो अगला सेशन चेयर करने का अनुग्रह करें। और इस सेशन में जो पेपर प्रेजेंट करने वाले हैं उनमें हिरल भगत मैम हैं, जो अहमदाबाद से हैं और एक प्रोफेशनल कैलीग्राफर हैं, और बहुत अच्छा इनका जो वर्क ऑफ आर्ट है वो इन्होंने भेजा है। इनका पेपर मैंने देखा है और पूरी कमेटी ने देखा है, बहुत अच्छा इनका लगा है। उसके बाद में नेक्स्ट होंगी मंजू कुमारी, जो शोध छात्रा हैं बनारस हिंदू विश्वविद्यालय से, और उसके बाद में विशाखा कुमारी और शिखा पटेल, ये भी शोध छात्राएं हैं जो प्रिंटिंग विभाग से ही शोध कर रहे हैं। तो इन पेपर्स के कोऑर्डिनेशन के लिए और इस सेशन को चेयर करने के लिए आमंत्रित करता हूँ उत्तमा मैम, प्लीज।
धन्यवाद सर। और सबसे पहले तो आपको बहुत शुभकामनाएं, और फैकल्टी ऑफ विजुअल आर्ट के पेंटिंग डिपार्टमेंट की तरफ से जो ये आयोजन हुआ है, जो ऑर्गेनाइज कराया है आपने वेबिनार, इसमें जुड़ने के लिए जितने भी जो लोग भी जुड़े हुए हैं, जिन्होंने बहुत ज्ञानवर्धक जानकारियां दी कैलीग्राफी के बारे में, उन सबों को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। और अभी इस सेशन में 4 पेपर प्रेजेंट किए जाएंगे, जिनमें हिरल मैडम हैं, जिनके बारे में आपने बताया सर। तो उन्हें मैं आमंत्रित करती हूँ कि वो अपना पेपर प्रेजेंट करें।
Yeah, thank you very much. First of all, I would like to thank BHU and other dignitaries, and special thanks to Dr. Suresh Jangid, because he was collaborating us with many queries at all the time actually, if it is a day or if it is night. So very cooperative. So today I'm first let me just introduce, just give me my brief introduction. I am Hiral Bhagat from Ahmedabad, Gujarat. I have done my applied art from here in Ahmedabad, CN College of Fine Arts. I have done my main subject was typography and outdoor. And during college days, we had this calligraphy subject, but it was very introductory kind of. But after I got married and shifted to Mumbai, that time I got many opportunity to work with calligraphy and related to calligraphy fields. So during college days, we had to learn so many things. So this calligraphy, I didn't explore much. But in Mumbai, when I got the opportunity, I started experimenting calligraphy, and I think from 2014 I'm taking calligraphy very seriously, and from 2017 I'm taking my own mother tongue, which is Gujarati. So I started to learn calligraphy from Roman, then to Devanagari, and now I'm exploring in Gujarati calligraphy only. And right now I'm practicing calligraphy artist. I'm planning to do my own solo show next year. Right now I'm connecting with other art groups. So group shows, in group shows I take part, and many of my artwork got selected at national and international level also. I do conduct a workshop and teaching at Art and Design Institute here in Ahmedabad, and at the Mumbai and Delhi also. Then I do take part in International Type Conference also to present my paper, my research, and to conduct Gujarati calligraphy workshop. And last year I have conducted 2 international workshop in a type conference, international type conference. So I have taught non-Indians participants to our Indian calligraphy, regional calligraphy, which is Gujarati. So the outcome was very wonderful. So now this has become like my passion and life for the like I cannot sleep without calligraphy. It has become now my passion. So now come to our point, like I would like to present my paper on Gujarati calligraphy. And over the period of time, because I do practical calligraphy also, so over the period of time, I have realized the Gujarati letter forms are more inspired from nature geometry. So the paper title is Inquiry into Geometry of Nature in Gujarati Calligraphy Letter Forms. So here I would like to present my paper. Yeah, so I would like to start my talk with this profound thought, which is given by R.K. Joshi sir, who was calligrapher and graphic designer. So he mentioned that form, meaning the physical shape, the essence of letter, which is individual or collective, the inscribed, inked, painted, or projected area of letters visible to us. A study of aesthetic qualities involved in these writing styles would unfold the visual dimension of various signs used in this style. Such a knowledge will help us to assess the formal aspect of various writing systems and their development. To undertake such formal studies of various script, it is important because letter form has become most influential factor in the present environment, print culture, and will remain so in the future, chip culture. So I'm taking this particular word form. Form, since we are here in a visual art department, so form means shape, आकार जो बोलते हैं, तो जिसका आकार नहीं था उसको हमने शेप दिया है और वो शेप को, वो फॉर्म को नाम दिया है. तो एज अदर स्कॉलर्स ऑल्सो मेंशन अर्लियर कि पहले सिंबल्स से थे. फर्स्ट ह्यूमन स्टार्टेड their communication with gesture, मुद्राओं से. Then they scribble, they scratch on the stone, and then there is a symbol, signs, and then we need to communicate this our message or to save our memory. That's why we need font, types, letters. So that's how this script has evolved. And any language and any script has two types of language, like spoken and written. These are two important aspects of any language. So the fundamental purpose of writing is to convey ideas and retain message for almost infinite length of time. Calligraphy is considered as the art of beautiful writing. So in calligraphy, letters are like drawings which represents meaning. See, if we know the script, the language, then only we can understand the meaning. If we don't know the language, the script, like if we don't know Malayalam or if we don't know Tamil, then it is form for us. It is picture for us. If we don't know Chinese, if we don't know Arabic, it is form, it is some shape for us. If we know the meaning, then it is types, writing for us. So in this calligraphy, it is like that. If you know the script, you know the meaning, you know the form. If you don't know letters, calligraphy, you don't know. It is form and pictures to you. So in calligraphy, content and form of written material is like soul and body. These forms have evolved over the period of time based on parameters. As earlier scholars told, कि over the period of time, our script has evolved. Earlier, it was with only some aspects like that, like straight stroke or slant stroke or curved stroke. But later, we can see there are joineries also involved in the letters. So these forms have evolved over the period of time based on parameters such as need, function, purpose, sound, tools, medium, culture, environment, region, know-how, economy, power, mythology, belief. So now you can understand that every language, every region has so many parameters to affect our letters, our script. So as we are talking our Indian script and Indian calligraphy, we should mention Brahmi script, because Brahmi is the origin script of many Indian script, which then gradually gets transformed or evolved under the influence of people who use it, and eventually its form of graphical symbol gets transformed. So you can say Brahmi is mother of all Indian script, majority. Each alphabet carries its own unique meaning and sound. So in our Indian calligraphy and letters, it's very important the way we speak, that exactly we write, and the way we write, that exactly we speak. It's not like English. So in Indian language, the meaning and sounds are based on particular letter. These letter forms are the integral part of any script system, and they are standard as a complete graphic unit. And the possibility of stylized variation form, these standard units are practically endless. As earlier other scholar has also mentioned, if we do calligraphy with hands, there are many possibilities that we can't do with computer or other tools or other digital tool. Through calligraphy techniques, this standard units or letter forms has to be defined to establish certain writing methods and rules to follow. The forms of the letters are very different for everyday functional writing compared to expressive artistic writing. So here I would like to mention that if we want to use our calligraphy and typography for some purpose, then there are a different aesthetic, and if you want to put your calligraphy in an artist way, then there are different possibilities. So if it is to give knowledge, if it is to convey some message, then it should be readable to you. That is the core strength of any type, any calligraphy. But if you want to make a painting out of it, or if you want to express yourself, then here the particular character of letters are not important. The expression, the bhav, the feeling is more important here in artistic expression. So now I have covered overall calligraphy, how the calligraphy is, what are the calligraphy, the history, I have covered. Now I come to the Gujarati calligraphy. I want to talk about Gujarati calligraphy. Gujarati is the language of state of Gujarat, which is located in the west side of India. And Gujarati language is more than 700 years old and spoken by more than 55 million people worldwide. And it is sixth most widely spoken language. So if you consider that there are in Gujarati calligraphy, there are roots in Devanagari, which is one of the northwest Indian script of Brahmi origin used for Sanskrit. Gujarati also has its origin from Prakrit. So Gujarati has combination of 2-3 script, like it is derived from Devanagari, but some influence you can see from Prakrit and Brahmi also, and there are some roots in Jaina script also. This is just for understanding. I am showing this is Prakrit manuscript and this is Devanagari. So this is current Devanagari letter forms, which we use in classical way, like in textbook or in newspaper for readable purpose. So from this Devanagari, the current Gujarati calligraphy and letters have derived. So if I tell you about this Gujarati script, so it derived from Devanagari. So here you can see this is Gujarati only, but it is written like Devanagari. So they have made the Shirorekha continuously, and then they have written Gujarati letter under the Shirorekha. This is another example of old Gujarati, and this is now formed without Shirorekha. So you can see the evolution of the script, how it changed. During this evolution, it was written in running hand to use for general writing purpose in trade, commerce, and court. So it used to be called as Mahajani or Baniya script. So earlier, this Gujarati community is more business people. That's why it is Baniya script, or they call it business script also, and Mahajani script or Vaniya Shahi script. There are many names, but earlier they used to write with, they use this for to purpose account writing and for the business only. So to achieve the speed in writing, the top line Shirorekha of Devanagari script was eventually removed, which was important and integral part of the Devanagari script. Removal of this top line from script gave a complete new form to the script, and letter forms get altered accordingly. So now there is a difference between Devanagari and Gujarati, because now there is no Shirorekha. So this was Dandiyo. This is first magazine in Gujarati language. So though during evolution, Gujarati script didn't adopt the top line or Shirorekha as its characteristic of letter form, it got another unique formal characteristic as vertical stroke, which ends with an upward short curved serif, projecting a casual informal character of Devanagari. So they don't have a Shirorekha, but while running, they just remove this Shirorekha, and they because of that, this Gujarati letter got the curve at the end of letter. So these are a classification of Gujarati script on a sound base. So as you can see here, the first are initial vowels, which are A, A, E, and then these are categorization of sound base like Kanthavya, Talavya, Murdhanya, Dantavya, Ardhaswara, Ushmaswara. So these are sound based. So our letters, our Indian letters are more derived from nature, more sound based compared to any Latin script. So here these are Gujarati letters. So here you can see they are not that much structured geometrically. Everywhere you can see it must be inspired from any natural curve. So the basic graphic shapes like triangle, circle, and square are the core elements or governing principle of Indian calligraphy. Non-decorative Brahmi letters, from which recent Gujarati is developed, represent square group. So this script follows generally square or rectangle group. These are the vowels. We have 16 vowels in Gujarati script and 36 consonant. Some of the strong characters of Devanagari script, like squarish in proportion, positive joinery of vertical and horizontal strokes, and fascinating structure of thick and thin stroke, curve stroke produced by a flat tip reed pen, have contributed to the Gujarati script. So earlier people used to write this Gujarati calligraphy with reed pen. That's why we are getting this thick and thin stroke. So Gujarati calligraphy is combination of thick and thin stroke. Then there is a circle, then ellipse, there are a vertical stroke, then horizontal joinery. So it's a combination of overall many geometry, and that geometry inspired from nature. The same shapes you can realize that in nature also you can find it. So as we discussed earlier, that in calligraphy the human activity is at its highest because it deals with handwritten letter forms, and it requires concentration, hand-eye coordination, and continuous registration of forms in our brain. As this is a natural human activity, the form produced through this process will be highly influenced by the natural forms. These forms are intuitive to human, as we have also evolved with nature and with our close interaction with nature. So in particular Gujarati script, it is more evident that principles of nature forms have influenced the development of letter forms. It appears that letter forms are not mere construction of strokes and squares, but they possess the dimension of time which signifies movement and life. Each letter forms in the script are lively and essentially fluid because it traces its geometry from natural handwritten forms. Here you are seeing Gujarati letters, and you can see it's not a structure like our Latin script like A and B. And see, in geometry also, in nature, you find continuity and discontinuity. Discontinuity, there are other letters for discontinuity. These are the letters for the continuity. So while you write the first letter, it is continuous stroke. You cannot stop in between. So in one, it is one stroke done. So upon analyzing this letter forms, one can find out that the stem from either one or the two concept of nature forms that seems to share world around us, discontinuity and continuity. Continuity is expressed by the circle and all curved lines. So here you can see the all letter forms are combination of circle or curved line. And here the forms are inspired from discontinuity forms. So crystal form is discontinued form. Now, pure curves resulting from equation are never completely satisfying and lack life, while curves drawn by human hand possessive alive kind of beauty. So, as other scholars also mention, the way we draw with the hands, that is more alive compared to the way we draw on a computer or any digital tool. These letter forms are constituted by analytical curves, mostly the conic section, and their derived such as catenary, logarithm, spirals. So these are the spirals, the catenary curves. These all curves are inspired from nature. So here in nature also, the absolute circle and the absolute line are not found in this letter form, as circle and straight lines do not exist in nature. So in nature also we don't find a perfect circle or perfect line. Same way in letters also. These letters are also expression of the laws of stress and gravitation. When any letter is not following these laws of nature, it appears very uncharacteristic and unbalanced in the system of forms. So if I'm writing this curve very small, if I'm writing this curve, the first consonant is curve. If I'm writing the first letter very small or in a diagonal, or if I stretch it, if I bend it, then it looks very abnormal. So it has to follow some particular parameters. So this expression of gravitation appears because the letter forms are made of very tense arc of a hyperbola curves. So if you can see this catenary curve, that is also inspired from nature only. So the geometry of nature curves create a schematic body of the letter forms, like a skeleton of living organism. All the letter forms have the geometrical center formed by all the lines of stress become the center of gravity of it. So here you can see there are gravity in the letters, there are curves, there are circle or in letters. So it's a combination of nature geometry. Now, see in Gujarati, some letters are inspired from shell. So in the system of Gujarati letter forms, quite a few letters are based on spiral form. The pattern of continuous motion is organized along the path of a logarithmic spiral, as we find the spiral as the universal form of motion. The letter form in its natural course follow this principle and represent motion. There are also letters which starts from left side, which seems to follow left-handed spiral rule of nature. So these are all inspired from spiral and shell. So as our all Indian language have this conjunct letter, Gujarati script also has conjunct letter forms like Devanagari script. Conjunct letter means that 2 or 3 letters come together to create different sound. The conjunct letter forms of the script create compactness in writing and use the white space of the paper effectively. So these are the only few conjunct I have included, but in Gujarati there are many conjunct. Some conjunct are combination of 2 consonant, and some conjunct are a combination of 3 consonant. These are few conjunct. Now, if we talk about aesthetic proportion, so if you see, these are the basic stroke of Gujarati calligraphy, and they are created with natural curves, and it is important to maintain the proportion of the strokes which creates the letter forms. So if you know the strokes perfectly, the proportion of the strokes perfectly, then only you can form a particular perfect letter, otherwise you cannot. So here aesthetic proportion is very important. So the thick and thin strokes are interrelated to create good proportion of the form. And the proportion of the form is dependent upon construction of the letter. The letter form has inherent, comparative, and overall proportion. Inherent proportions refer to the proportion within the letter forms, length to width to stroke thickness. So here, earlier scholar also mentioned this nib width. So whatever tool you are using, you need to, according to that tool thickness, you need to create these letters. If you are taking small tool and making large letter, then it is not proportionate. And same with, if you are taking a thick tool and making small letters, then also it looks very abnormal. So here aesthetic proportions are very important. And while talking about balance, see, in nature also you can see balance and proportion, and same things applies here in letters also. So in Gujarati calligraphy, the consonant, when used with vowel signs, it is all the more important to strike the balance between these forms. The distance and orientation has to be correct to get the pleasing composition of the letter forms. So these are the letters with vowel signs. So if I am putting vowel sign very near to any consonant or vowels, that can't work. So it should be balanced while you join your vowel signs. So here each letter has its own balance as per its curves and visual center of gravity. If the letters are not in the proper system of gravity, it may look abnormal, and it may appear as if they are following forward or backward. So here, these letters are combination of notes and spiral. So if I'm putting my notes very big in the center or very small in the center, then it will not give me proper visual. As we see rhythm and harmony in nature, in Gujarati calligraphy also there are rhythm and harmony. Gujarati letter forms have natural curves as it constitute. The script has its own inherent rhythm. So see, there are more curves and circular in Gujarati script compared to Latin script. So in nature also you find curves, circular, all soft curves in Gujarati script. So it has rhythm, it has some harmony. It has evolved from running hand, so one can see the element of rhythm in every form. There are so many diversities in each letter form, but it is equally important to bring all of them together through harmony of forms. So it's not a very similar letters. There are unique letters, but they actually form one unity, rhythm, and harmony. Now we talk about negative and positive space. So like in nature, we have this akash and avkash. Same things applies here in letters. In Gujarati letters, there are a negative and positive space, and which are very important. The form of each letters are interdependent to create holistic aesthetic through negative space between letters, negative space within the letters, and negative space within the loops of the letters. So if you can see the circular part, which we call loop, if it is very small, if it is compact, if it is very big, then it will not give proper visual to the letter form. You can't visualize ki this is a letter or this is a form, right? So there is equal importance of negative and positive space in any letter and any script. Next, please. Yeah, so I would like to just say thank you that I have given you overall insight of Gujarati calligraphy. So, ma'am, with your permission, can I share my current practice?
बिल्कुल आप दिखा सकते हैं.
Thank you for allowing. So I use calligraphy as an art form. This is my first show in 2017 here in Ahmedabad, the Kanoria Center for Art. And the concept of this painting is a combination of letters and strokes. Here also I have taken one slogan relating to strokes, because strokes are very important in calligraphy. If your strokes are perfect, then only you are able to format good proportionate letters. So here the saying says stroke starts in nothing and they end in nothing, and in between image is found. So I have designed this artwork in a way that one can see any images of letter form also, or images from nature also, if one visualize. These are the Gujarati letter form, and this I have designed according to design principle, using balance, harmony, negative, positive, and other grid system also. So these type of work you can apply in commercial work to make your logo design or t-shirt design or tea coaster or any product you can make it. This is just experiment with the tool, all the letters together. This is exploration with ink intensity, lighter ink and the darker ink with a different tool. These are artwork relating to womanhood. In that I have included Gujarati letter form. These two are in the collection of here in Ahmedabad, Kanoria Center for Arts. And the first picture depicts womanhood. That's why I have taken our iconic mark of bindi, and which is red bindi. And we have in woman life, we have dark and light life. Like there are shadows also in our life, there are light also in the life. That's why this is the execution of the art form. And the next is experimental letter form of Gujarati calligraphy. This is a poem. This is Gulzar poem. The name of the poem is Kitabe Jhaakti Hai Band Almari Ke Kamron Se. So this is the different expression of one poem. The first is the letter form is Devanagari, and which is experimental and inspired from like raining and flowy letters. And the next is a break moment is there. This is also same poem but different expression. So see, in calligraphy you can create one artwork in many different point of view. These I have made 8 feet long scroll. They are on khadi. And here in Gujarat, they have invited me for Gujarat Literature Festival, and they told me to use Gujarati calligraphy using Gujarati literature. So I have made using our Gujarati literature, like sayings, haikus, bhajans, everything. This is one artwork. The name is Dance of Destiny. So I have put myself, like here we call it who means me, myself. Who means Gujarati, we call myself who. So we are just puppetry of God's hand. That's why I have written who in a different manner. This is calligraphy and nature. So why I have took the letter is and the nature is fish. So is a very important vowels in Gujarati calligraphy, because without that vowel you cannot listen any consonant. So when you sound ka, then there is always a behind it. So ka plus a, then only it is ka. And with a, it all synchronize other letter form also. And same with fish also. We have in mythology, after Matsya avatar only there are life flourish. So that's why I have combined two key points together in one artwork. This is same poem from Gulzar, Kitabe Jhaagti Hai. Only one stanza I have taken, and this got selected at San Francisco, which was a multicultural calligraphy exhibition. This is a experimental Gujarati letter form. This is also selected at San Francisco. These are Gujarati conjunct, which we call Jodakshara. I have made scroll using joining of small cloth to give that feeling of Jodakshar, means Jodna. These are accordion book using Gujarati haikus, because accordion books always you find it in a small size, and haikus are always also small. This got selected at Singapore National Library. These are Gujarati Varnamala. These are calligraphy and architecture. So I have used our indigenous local architecture, which we use for bird feeder. We call it chabutro, and I have written names of birds, because nowadays we are not able to see many birds, and indigenous bird like sparrow or crow, it's rare. Like we need to find it out. So the concept is that, and this is global local theme, because Chinese is the, I think, more spoken language all over the world. And why I have taken Vaishnav-jan, because it represents Gandhiji's thoughts, and that's why, and Gandhiji's thoughts are also globally applicable. So that's why I have combined two things together. And here the first sound, like Om, this also inspired from nature geometry. The base of the grid is nature inspired geometry called golden section. Here in Ahmedabad, I got invited in one art festival, which is called Abhivyakti City project. So this is 12 feet long scroll, and I have written a poem about discomfort. These are experimental Gujarati calligraphy. This work got selected at South Korea. This is Gujarati haiku on a scroll. Next, please. This is my peach project for Kalagoda Art Festival, Mumbai, but then lockdown came, so it is now on hold. The prototype of that installation. This is my demonstration at Mumbai, and this is in Baroda. Yeah, that's it. Thank you very much for watching it.
कुमारी, आप आए और अपना पेपर प्रेजेंट करें।
जी मैम, थैंक यू। सभी को नमस्कार। मैं मंजू कुमारी बनारस हिंदू विश्वविद्यालय में शोध छात्रा हूँ। इस वेबिनार के माध्यम से मैं पांडुलिपियों पर चित्रों में सुलेख की भूमिका पर आधारित अपना पेपर प्रस्तुत करने जा रही हूँ, जिसके अंतर्गत मैं समकालीन चित्रकार अंजलि इला मेनन के चित्रों में कैलीग्राफी के प्रयोग को प्रस्तुत करूंगी। इसके लिए मैं सर्वप्रथम पांडुलिपियों चित्रों में सुलेख की भूमिका पर संक्षिप्त प्रकाश डालूंगी। पांडुलिपियों चित्रों में अक्षरों का कलात्मक प्रयोग भारतीय कला की एक महत्वपूर्ण विशेषता रही है। अक्षरों को कलात्मक या सजावटी रूप में अंकन करना ही अक्षरांकन अथवा कैलीग्राफी कहलाता है। यह लिखने की एक दृश्यात्मक शैली है, जिसके भारत में कई नाम है, जैसे सुलेख, सुलिपि तथा खुशखती, खुशनफीसी की किताबत, सुलूस, खटाती इत्यादि। अरबी फारसी में ये सब नाम है। कुछ हिंदी में भी इसमें नाम बताया गया है। इसके अंतर्गत सबसे पहले अगर हम देखेंगे तो सुलेखन जो हमें मिलता है पांडुलिपियों में, उसमें गिलगित का नाम सबसे प्राचीन रूप में हमें प्राप्त होता है, जो कि 5वीं से 6ठी शताब्दी की है। पांडुलिपियों के सबसे पहले चित्रित आवरण 7वीं से 9वीं शताब्दी के मध्य बनाए गए थे। भारत में पांडुलिपियों में सुलेख के आरंभिक कार्य ताड़पत्र पर किए गए, जो बाद में ताम्रपत्र और कागज पर भी बनाए गए। भारत में सुलेख का आरंभ सबसे पहले और सबसे अधिक रूप में धार्मिक ग्रंथ के रूप में किया गया। बौद्ध एवं जैन पांडुलिपियों से भारतीय सुलेख के इतिहास की जानकारी प्राप्त होती है। तो इसमें मैंने गिलगित लिपि को सबसे पहले दिखाया है कि गिलगित लिपि किस प्रकार की थी। काफी सिंपल फॉर्म में हुआ करती थी, और उसके दूसरे नीचे चित्र में मैंने दिखाया है प्रज्ञा पारमिता, जो कि मिनिएचर पेंटिंग कैलीग्राफी के साथ ये पांडुलिपि में दिखाया गया था। इसमें मिनिएचर पेंटिंग भी बना है, साथ में कैलीग्राफी भी किया गया। बौद्ध धर्म से रिलेटेड है प्रज्ञा पारमिता पांडुलिपि। इस चित्र में मैंने ईरानी धर्म से प्रभावित फारसी जो लिपि से प्रभावित था, हम कैलीग्राफी उसको दिखाया है कि जब मुगल आए भारत में तो कुछ सुलेखकार भी लाए थे, और किस प्रकार से भारतीय सुलेख प्रभावित हुआ, जिसमें सबसे पहले मैंने दिखाया है कि सबसे पहले बहुत सिंपल फॉर्म में होता था मुगल काल में कैलीग्राफी। बाद में 16वीं शताब्दी के बाद इसमें काफी चित्रों के मध्य में लिपि को दिखाया गया, कैलीग्राफी को दिखाया गया। पांडुलिपियों के कैलीग्राफी में मैं ये बताना चाहूंगी कि जो पांडुलिपि के कैलीग्राफी पाए गए हैं, पहले ये चित्रों के ऊपर या दाएं बाएं बनाए जाते थे, ऊपर नीचे दाएं बाएं बनाए जाते थे। बाद में आगे चल के पांडुलिपियों में जो चित्र थे, उसके बीच बीच में भी कहीं कहीं कैलीग्राफी देखने को मिला, जो चित्र को और भी आकर्षक बनाए, जिससे चित्र और भी आकर्षक लगने लगा। ये जो पांडुलिपि में कैलीग्राफी और चित्र होते थे, दोनों एक दूसरे के पूरक होते थे। मैं अब आगे ये बताना चाहूंगी कि जो समकालीन कला है, उसमें बहुत सारे समकालीन कलाकार हैं जो अपने चित्रों में कैलीग्राफी को प्रयोग करते हैं, जिसमें अर्पिता सिंह, अंजलि इला मेनन का नाम प्रमुखता से लिया जा सकता है। मैं अंजलि इला मेनन के बारे में इसके आगे बताना चाहूंगी। अंजलि इला मेनन यूरोपीय कला से काफी प्रभावित रही, क्योंकि उनका शिक्षा जो था वो पेरिस में हुआ था। पेरिस में रहने के दौरान वे आरंभिक ईसाई कला और बाजेंटाइन रोमन्स कला, गोथिक कला से काफी प्रभावित थी। बाजेंटाइन शैली की जब कला देखते तो उसमें हम लोग देखते हैं कि कहीं कहीं कैलीग्राफी का भी प्रयोग है। बाजेंटाइन कला में सिंबॉलिक प्रतीकात्मक चित्र भी बने हैं। आरंभिक ईसाई कला के साथ के बाद जो बाजेंटाइन कला रहता है, उसमें सिंबॉलिक चित्र भी बने, साथ में कैलीग्राफी का भी प्रयोग है। उससे प्रभावित होकर अंजलि इला मेनन ने अपने चित्रों में 70वीं दशक में कुछ ऐसे चित्र पोर्ट्रेट पेंटिंग बनाए जिसमें कैलीग्राफी का प्रयोग किया, जिसका सबसे प्राचीनतम मैं उदाहरण उनके जो कला में सबसे पहले कैलीग्राफी का जो उदाहरण है, मैं इस भास्कर चित्र के माध्यम से यहाँ पे प्रस्तुत की हूँ। उसके जस्ट शुरुआत में मैंने बाजेंटाइन कला की एक व्यक्ति चित्र को दिखाया है। 1990 के दशक में अंजलि इला मेनन धार्मिक चित्रों से काफी प्रभावित होकर चित्र बनाने लगी। भारतीय धर्म से भी रिलेटेड उसमें रहा और वेस्टर्न धर्म से भी रिलेटेड रहा, जिसमें ये शक्ति चित्र है। उन्होंने 3 देवियों को दिखाया है, जिसमें उन्होंने काफी अक्षरों का प्रयोग किया है। ये अक्षर उनके चित्र को समझने में सहायक भी है और ये इनको जो उनका लिखने का तरीका है वो काफी हद तक बिल्कुल सिंपल फॉर्म में है और कहीं-कहीं चित्रों में काफी दब भी गए हैं और कहीं उभर कर भी दिख रहे हैं। जैसे उन्होंने सरस्वती जी के चित्र के साथ कुछ फार्मूला को लिखा है, जिसमें उन्होंने अंक का प्रयोग किया है। दुर्गा जी के चित्र के साथ उन्होंने माँ शब्द, वैष्णवी, पार्वती शब्द का प्रयोग किया है और लक्ष्मी देवी के चित्र के साथ उन्होंने श्री शब्द का प्रयोग किया है, जो चित्र को प्रतीकात्मक भी बना रहा है और साथ में चित्र के साथ कैलीग्राफी का प्रयोग को भी दर्शा रहा है। 90 के दशक में उन्होंने पहली बार अंजलि लीला मेनन बेसिकली फिगरेटिव आर्टिस्ट हैं, लेकिन 90 के दशक में उन्होंने पहली बार अमूर्त चित्र बनाना शुरुआत किया था, जिसमें ये चित्र है अनटाइटल्ड, जो उन्होंने 1997 में बनाया है, जिसमें अंक लिखा है 18। इस तरीके से देखते हैं यहाँ पर भी उन्होंने प्रयोग किया है कैलीग्राफी का। उसके जस्ट शुरुआत के चित्र में चित्र है जिसमें लैंडस्केप भी कहा जा सकता है, साथ में इसमें स्टिल लाइफ के रूप में कुछ वस्तुओं का भी प्रयोग दिखाया है, जिसके काफी पृष्ठभूमि में इन्होंने अपने पूरे फैमिली के सदस्य का नाम लिखा है, जैसे राजा राज मेनन, राजा गोपाल मेनन, आदित्य मेनन, ये सब उनके परिवार के सदस्य का नाम है। इस तरीके से उन्होंने पूरे इसमें कैलीग्राफी का एक परिचय दिया है। जैसा कि पहले भी बताए हैं कि इन्होंने धार्मिक चित्रों से प्रभावित होकर काफ़ी चित्र बनाए 1990 के दशक में। 2000 के दशक के शुरुआत में उन्होंने ये पवित्र माता के रूप में एक सीरीज बनाया, जिसमें उन्होंने पार्वती, गणेश या माया बुद्ध माता पुत्र के संबंधों को दिखाने के लिए इस सीरीज बनाया, जिसमें उन्होंने डिवाइन मदर सीरीज का चित्र पार्वती को मैंने यहाँ पे प्रस्तुत किया है। पृष्ठभूमि में पार्वती पुत्र गणेश द्वारा इत्यादि काफी विवरणात्मक रूप में कैलीग्राफी का प्रयोग किया गया है, जो चित्र को काफी आकर्षक बना रहा है। 2000 दशक के बाद उन्होंने कैलीग्राफी का विस्तृत रूप में प्रयोग करना आरंभ कर दिया था, जैसे कि एंड गेम नामक शीर्षक चित्र में हम लोग देखते हैं कि एक व्यक्ति चित्र उन्होंने बनाया है, जिसके कान के पीछे उन्होंने कैलीग्राफी के रूप में कुछ लिखा। साथ ही इनका सिग्नेचर भी एक कैलीग्राफी के रूप में इस कला को काफी आकर्षक बना रहा है। कर्मा सीरीज में उन्होंने कर्मा भी लिखने का प्रयास किया और जिस तरीके से इन्होंने 2004 लिखा है, वो काफी चित्र के साथ घुला हुआ दिख रहा है, चित्र के साथ संयोजनात्मक रूप प्रस्तुत कर रहा है। मैन इन विंडोज शीर्षक चित्र में इन्होंने एक वृद्ध पुरुष को अखबार पढ़ते हुए दिखाया है, जिस अखबार को शायद इस चित्र में काफी क्लियर नहीं नजर आ रहा, लेकिन जो अखबार में कैलीग्राफी उसको उन्होंने काफी स्पष्ट रूप में चित्रांकित किया है। इस चित्र में उन्होंने कैलीग्राफी का बहुत ही विस्तृत रूप में प्रयोग किया है, जैसे पूरे चेहरे पर, दोनों व्यक्ति चित्र के पूरे चेहरे पे उन्होंने राम राम शब्द लिखा है और एक तरीके का ये गोदना का भी सिंबल के रूप में उन्होंने प्रयोग किया है, जिससे दोनों व्यक्ति चित्र के धार्मिक पक्ष स्पष्ट रूप से प्रकट हो रहे हैं। इस चित्र के माध्यम से मैं ये प्रस्तुत कर रही हूँ कि अंजलि लीला मेनन जो है वो किस तरीके से कैलीग्राफी को अपने चित्रों में प्रयोग करती हैं। जैसे कि राम भक्त जो चित्र है उसमें भी उन्होंने पूरे फेस पर राम शब्द लिखा है। क्लोन शीर्षक चित्र में उन्होंने अक्षर लिखे हैं, जैसे क, म, प इत्यादि, ये सब दिख रहा है। चित्र में भी एक वृद्ध पुरुष को अखबार पढ़ते हुए दिखाया गया है, जिसमें कि अखबार की जो कैलीग्राफी है उसको बहुत ही स्पष्ट रूप में अंजलि लीला मेनन ने इसमें चित्रित किया है। दीवार पर भी रफिया मंजिल लिखा है। नेक्स्ट जो चित्र है इकबाल मास्टर टेलर, इसमें भी उन्होंने कुछ शब्दों को अंकित किया है। अंजलि लीला मेनन ने अपने चित्रकारी में कुंभ मेला, अर्ध कुंभ मेला इत्यादि कैलीग्राफी को भी प्रयुक्त किया है। इस प्रकार से हम देखते हैं कि अंजलि हीरामेनन जो कि बहुत सारे नवीन अपने कला कार्यों में प्रयोग करती हैं, वो अपने चित्रों में कैलीग्राफी को भी प्रयोग की है। इसके साथ ही उन्होंने तंजोर कला को अभी मिश्रण दिखाया है। बहुत सारा उनका सृजनात्मक प्रयोग रहा है। इसके उन्होंने स्कल्पचर भी बनाया है जो मुरानो गिलास पर द्वारा के माध्यम से बनाया गया है। इस स्कल्पचर पर उन्होंने राम शब्द लिखा है। कबीर नामक के स्कल्पचर है, उसके जस्ट बगल के स्कल्पचर पे भी उन्होंने बहुत सारे अक्षर को लिखा है। और ब्रह्मा विष्णु महेश जो शीर्षक स्कल्पचर है उस पे उन्होंने ओम लिखा है। इस तरीके से उन्होंने चित्रों के साथ इसका अपने मूर्ति कला में भी कैलीग्राफी का प्रयोग किया है। इसके साथ ही मैं अपना पेपर प्रेजेंट समाप्त करना चाहूंगी। धन्यवाद।
ठीक है मंजू, आपने अंजलि हीरामेनन के बारे में, उनके पेंटिंग्स के बारे में, उनकी उस पे जो कैलीग्राफी हुई है उसके बारे में काफी जानकारी दी। अभी जो है विशाखा कुमारी वाराणसी से हैं, उनको इनवाइट करती हूँ, वो आके पेपर प्रेजेंट करें।
थैंक यू मैम। मेरा नाम विशाखा है, मैं बनारस हिंदू विश्वविद्यालय की स्कॉलर हूँ। यहाँ उपस्थित सभी को मेरा प्रणाम। और मेरे इस वेबिनार का शोध जो पत्र है उसका शीर्षक है भारतीय सुलेखन कला के माध्यम व साधन की क्रमिक विकास। प्रारंभ से ही मनुष्य अपनी भावनाओं को व्यक्त करने के लिए सुलेखन, बोली, भाषा आदि का प्रयोग करता रहा है। जिज्ञासु प्रवृत्ति होने के कारण ही नित्य नए प्रयासों वह अपनी भावनाओं को अभिव्यक्त करने, अपने ज्ञान को संरक्षित रखने तथा उस ज्ञान को आने वाली पीढ़ी को सौंप पाने में सक्षम हो पाया है। इस क्रम में लिपि का विकास हुआ। मनुष्य के ज्ञान को संरक्षित रखने में इन लिपियों का बहुत बड़ा योगदान रहा है। अक्षर शब्द को सुव्यवस्थित रूप में विभिन्न तुलिका आघातों से अंकित करना व अर्थपूर्ण रूप से विकसित किसी धरातल पर अंकित करना ही सुलेखन कला कहलाती है। दूसरे शब्दों में सुलेखन कला हस्तलेखन का एक कौशल है, परंतु सुलेखन कला को केवल सुंदर लेखन से परिभाषित करना उपयुक्त नहीं है। यह कला सुंदर लेखन से कहीं अधिक है। सुलेखन कला का प्रारंभिक लक्ष्य है त्वरित गति से सहज ढंग से लिखे जाने के साथ ही साथ उचित रूप से पढ़े जाने योग्य होना। मनुष्य के विकास के साथ ही साथ सुलेखन कला में भी बहुत परिष्कार व परिवर्तन हुए। सुलेखन कला के दृश्य रूप देने तथा उसे आकर्षक बनाने, उनको लिखने में प्रयोग किए जाने वाले माध्यम व साधनों का बहुत बड़ा योगदान रहा है। इन माध्यमों व साधनों में भी समय के साथ आवश्यकता के अनुसार कई परिवर्तन हुए और किए गए। प्रायः मनुष्य अपने आसपास सहज रूप से उपलब्ध होने वाली प्राकृतिक वस्तुओं से ही नए नए आविष्कार करता रहा। इस लेखन को कैसे अभ्यास में लाया जाए तथा उसे कैसे सुंदर व आकर्षक बनाया जाए, इसके लिए साधनों का भी मनुष्य आविष्कार करता रहा। विकास के साथ ही धीरे धीरे वह प्राकृतिक से कृत्रिम माध्यम व साधनों की ओर बढ़ने लगा। सुलेखन कला के लिए मुख्य रूप से 3 साधनों की आवश्यकता होती है, एक धरातल तथा दूसरा लेखन यंत्र, तीसरा रंग द्रव्य। धरातल के लिए जिन साधनों का प्रयोग किया जाता है मुख्य रूप से उनमें ताड़पत्र, कपड़ा, भोजपत्र और कागज। ताड़पत्र सुलेखन कला के लिए एक धरातल के रूप में ताड़पत्रों का प्रयोग अति प्राचीन समय से होता रहा है। ताड़पत्र नामक वृक्ष के पत्तों से बनाए जाते हैं। ताड़पत्र वृक्ष 2 प्रकार के होते हैं, खरताड़ और श्रीताड़। खरताड़ वृक्ष के पत्तों का प्रयोग सुलेखन के लिए नहीं किया जाता। सुलेखन के लिए श्रीताल वृक्ष के पत्तों का प्रयोग किया जाता था। श्रीताल के वृक्ष मालाबार तट, बंगाल, म्यांमार और श्रीलंका की बड़ी संख्या में प्राप्त होते हैं। इन पत्तों की लंबाई लगभग 20 से 50 सेंटीमीटर होती है तथा चौड़ाई 3 से 5 सेंटीमीटर होती है, जो कि इन पे लिखने के योग्य होती थी। इसलिए इनकी पांडुलिपियों का निर्माण अधिक किया गया। ताड़पत्रों के लिखने योग्य बनाने की प्रक्रिया एक जटिल प्रक्रिया होती थी। सर्वप्रथम इन ताड़पत्रों को सुखाया जाता है। उसके उपरांत इसे कुछ समय के लिए गर्म पानी में उबाला या भिगोया जाता है। पुनः इसको अच्छी प्रकार से सुखा लिया जाता है सूख जाने के बाद सतह को चिकना बनाने के लिए शंख, अकीक पत्थर, कौड़ी आदि की सहायता से इसकी घुटाई की जाती है। इसको आवश्यकता अनुसार आकार में काट लिया जाता है और इस पे कलम, लेखनी, शलाखा की सहायता से सुलेखन कार्य किया जाता था। इसके उपरांत है भोजपत्र। भोजपत्र को भोजपत्र भी कहा जाता है। भोजपत्र भुर्ज नामक वृक्ष की छाल से प्राप्त किया जाता था। इस वृक्ष को बहुबल्क भी कहा जाता है, जिसका अर्थ होता है बहुत सारे वस्त्रों या छाल वाला वृक्ष। भुर्ज वृक्ष मुख्य रूप से ठंडे प्रदेशों में उगते हैं। यह वृक्ष भारत में हिमालय पर्वत क्षेत्र में मिलते हैं। इन वृक्षों की छाल कई मीटर लंबी तक होती है, जिन पर आवश्यकता अनुसार आकार बनाया जा सकता है। भुर्ज की छाल को सुलेखन करने योग्य बनाने के लिए सर्वप्रथम छाल को अकीक पत्थर से इसकी घुटाई की जाती है और उसके उपरांत इसके ऊपर लेखन कार्य किया जाता है। सुलेखन के लिए कपड़ों का भी प्रयोग हुआ है। कपड़े भी सुलेखन कला के धरातल के रूप में मुख्य रूप से प्रयोग किए जाते थे। इनमें मुख्य रूप से रेशम व सूती दोनों प्रकार के कपड़ों का प्रयोग हुआ है और इसको भी तैयार किया जाता है। पहले इसके लिए इसके ऊपर आटे की लेई, चावल का माड़ व मोम को अच्छी तरह से कपड़े पे लगाया जाता है। उसके बाद इसकी घुटाई किसी पत्थर की सहायता से की जाती है। कागज सुलेखन कला के लिए धरातल के रूप में अति प्राचीन समय से वर्तमान समय में भी इसका प्रयोग हो रहा है। प्राचीन काल में इसको बनाने में अधिक समय, साधन व श्रम लगता था, परंतु आज वर्तमान में यह मशीन की सहायता से उत्तम गुणवत्ता वाले कागजों का निर्माण हो रहा है। भारत में कागज का प्रयोग ईसा की 7वीं शताब्दी से होने लगता है। कागज आज सुलेखन कला का प्रचलित साधन बन गया है। कागज निर्माण ने सुलेखन कला को एक नया आयाम दिया है। इसकी सपाट सतह सुलेखन कार्य को सुगमता से करने में सहायक होती है। सुलेखन कला के लिए लेखन यंत्रों का जो लेखन यंत्र प्रयोग किए जाते हैं वो हैं नरकट, तुलिका, स्याही, डिप पेन और संगणक। नरकट एक झाड़ होती है जो नम मिट्टी व कम खारे पानी वाले क्षेत्रों में पाई जाती है। इसके तने की लेखनी बनाई जाती है। ये लेखनी देवनागरी सुलेखन के लिए सबसे उत्तम होती है, जिसकी सहायता से सुलेखन करने से देवनागरी लिपि की वास्तविक सौंदर्य दिखाई पड़ता है। इसे अन्य नामों से भी जाना जाता है, जैसे नरसल, नरकूल, नरगज आदि। इससे बनी लेखनी को अंग्रेजी में रीड पेन कहा जाता है। नरकट की लेखनी बनाने के लिए सर्वप्रथम इसको 5 से 7 इंच लंबे टुकड़े को काट लिया जाता है। इसके उपरांत इसके एक सिरे को छील लिया जाता है और छिले हुए नुकीले हिस्से को 45 डिग्री के एंगल पे इसको काटा जाता है। दूसरी लेखनी है तुलिका या कुची, जिसे कहा जाता है, ब्रश भी कहा जाता है। लेखनी के अतिरिक्त वर्तमान में कई ऐसे ब्रश उपलब्ध हैं जो देवनागरी सुलेखन कला के लिए विशेष रूप से तैयार किए गए हैं। समय के साथ इसके आकार, प्रकार और बनावट में काफ़ी परिवर्तन देखने को मिलते हैं। इसके अलावा आजकल डिप पेन का भी प्रयोग हो रहा है। डिप पेन का प्रयोग सर्वप्रथम 17वीं शताब्दी के आसपास प्रचलन में आया, जिससे आगे चलकर नरकट, कलम और क्विल पेन जैसे पेन का स्थान लिया। तकनीकी विकास के क्रम में लेखनी के स्थान पर धातु आदि का भी प्रयोग किया जाने लगा। इसमें निब धातु की बनी होती थी। मुठिया लकड़ी, प्लास्टिक या कभी कभी शीशे की भी बनाई जाती थी। नरकट की लेखनी में समय समय पर इसे छीलने बनाने की आवश्यकता होती है। इससे छुटकारा पाने के लिए इस प्रकार के प्रयोग किए गए। फिल टिप पेन का प्रयोग भी आज वर्तमान समय में सुलेखन कला के लिए किया जा रहा है, जिसमें स्याही पूर्व से ही भरी होती है और उसमें बार बार स्याही भरने की आवश्यकता नहीं होती है, जैसा कि नरकट की कलम को बार बार स्याही में बोरने की ज़रूरत पड़ती है। इसकी निब फाइबर की बनी होती है और ये 1810 के आसपास इसका प्रचलन शुरू होता है। इसका निर्माण आज देवनागरी लिखने के लिए भी किया जाने लगा है। और स्याही एक प्रकार का रंग द्रव्य होता है जिसके प्रयोग से सुलिखित अक्षर को दृश्य रूप दिया जाता है। प्रायः इसका रंग काला होने के कारण इसे स्याही कहा जाता है। इसका प्रयोग प्रागैतिहासिक काल से होता आ रहा है, परंतु समय के साथ इसकी गुणवत्ता बढ़ गई है। इसके साथ ही मिश्रित रंगों की भी संख्या बढ़ी है। कंप्यूटर सुलेखन कला के सबसे नवीन साधन व माध्यम के रूप में संगणक का प्रयोग होने लगा है। यह वर्तमान समय में अधिक प्रचलन में है। इसके लिए कई प्रकार के सॉफ्टवेयर का प्रयोग किया जाता है, जिसमें मुख्य रूप से एडोब फोटोशॉप, कोरल ड्रॉ, इलस्ट्रेटर आदि का प्रयोग किया जाता है। इन सॉफ्टवेयर में बहुत से विकल्प दिए होते हैं। आवश्यकता के अनुसार इनका चुनाव कर सुलेखन कर सकते हैं। एक हस्त सुलेखन त्वरित होती है और सुधार का अवसर नहीं मिलता, जबकि कंप्यूटर द्वारा सुलेखन में सुधार संभव है। उनमें रंग को परिवर्तित कर सकते हैं। इन सॉफ्टवेयर से सुलेखन आसान तो हुआ है, परंतु कहीं न कहीं सुलेखन कला पर विपरीत प्रभाव भी पड़ा है। इन सॉफ्टवेयर्स में कुछ नियंत्रण पूर्व निर्धारित किए जाते हैं, जो मनुष्य द्वारा त्वरित सुलेखन की सुंदरता को प्राप्त नहीं कर पाते हैं। निष्कर्ष, वर्तमान में सुलेखन के माध्यम व साधन की कोई सीमा नहीं है। कलाकार स्वतंत्र रूप से सुलेखन साधनों व माध्यमों में नित्य नए प्रयोग कर रहे हैं। आज वे सीमित साधनों पर निर्भर नहीं हैं। विकास के इस क्रम में उसमें क्रमिक रूप से सुलेखन कला के माध्यम व साधन को और परिष्कृत किया है। धन्यवाद मैम।
थैंक यू विशाखा। अब शिखा पटेल हैं हमारे नेक्स्ट पार्टिसिपेंट। शिखा जी आमंत्रित हैं इसके लिए पेपर प्रेजेंट करें।
फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल थैंक यू सो मच प्रोफेसर Uttama Dixit ma'am. It is my honor to present my paper in your presence, and thank you so much Professor Jangid sir for giving me this opportunity to read my paper, my first paper in front of all of you. My paper is about signature calligraphy as the most popular element of self-reference in painting. So, talking about calligraphy in a form of artist signature serves as the most commonly popular element of self-reference in paintings. Self-referential paintings are not only those works of art which includes personal depiction of an artist's life or the autobiographical approach in art making, but it also involves the direct physical or other kind of involvement of an artist, which refers to the individuality of the artist and presents him or her as an element of the work. Every work of art is not a self-referential work, but interestingly, every work of art which has artist signature on it as a signature of authentication, it is not wrong to say that all such signature holding works have a certain extent of personal reference, which directly indicates the artist's individuality in form of a calligraphic mark. It is interesting to decode and understand the personal identification of the creator through a simple signature in the form of calligraphy commonly found on almost every work of art. So, introducing calligraphy. Calligraphy in itself is a work of art, certainly equal to painting, sculpture, and other such art forms. It is an art of beautiful handwriting, which has been an integral part of paintings in the history of Indian painting tradition. Be it ancient Indian scriptures or the very famous Mughal miniature paintings, both have have a beautiful amalgamation of painting and calligraphy goes hand in hand. So both painting and calligraphy are serving each other in the process of making each other more accessible and easy to perceive as a visual form of expression. Lately, calligraphy has started to lose its part in paintings, and it started making a separate identity of its own and became a complete form of visual art in itself. But it is very interesting to see to still trace its existence in almost every work of art as a practice of name writing or signature making in all the paintings performed by the artist. Not only the presence of calligraphy in the form of signature in painting is important, but it is also very interesting to understand the actual meaning and identity behind a signature on a painting. So before moving to its actual significance in paintings, we should first understand the term calligraphy. So the word calli is a Greek word that means beautiful, and beautiful in the case of calligraphy means artistic, stylized, and elegant. So calligraphy is a visual art related to writing. It is the design and execution of lettering with a pen, ink brush, or other writing instrument. A contemporary calligraphic practice can be defined as the art of giving form to signs in an expressive, harmonious, and skillful manner. So, calligraphy has existed in many cultures, including Indian, Persian, and Islamic cultures. And especially Arabic puts a particularly high value on beautiful script, and in East Asia, calligraphic has long been considered a major art. So calligraphers in the West use pen with wide nips with which they produce strokes of widely differing widths within a single letter. So after knowing basic things about calligraphy, we should understand the signature or autograph. But signature and autograph are both different terms. So understanding signature, a signature is a handwritten depiction of someone's name, nickname, or even a simple mark that a person writes on documents as a proof of identity and intent. So the writer of a signature is called a signatory or signer. Similar to a handwritten signature, a signature work describes the work as readily identifying its creator. A signature may be confused with an autograph easily, which is chiefly an artistic signature. So this can be led to confusion when people have both an autograph and signature, and as such, some people in the public eye keep their signatures private whilst fully publishing their autograph. So basically, there is a difference between autograph and signature, and we can define that autograph is written in the author's own handwriting, while signature is distinctive, characteristic, indicative of identity. So as we have understood signature and calligraphy, it is important to understand artist signature and its historic roots. So talking about the historic roots, the value of an artist's signature in an art is undeniable for sure. So it attests to a work's authenticity and officially declares to whom the work belongs, hence adding full value to an artwork. Some artists sign with their complete name, others with their initials or just a symbol. We have to bear in mind that numerous artists changed their signatures over the course of a lifetime, and that each individual signature is naturally a little different. So we can ask a question here that who initiated the trend of signing a painting, because it is a very popular, a traditional trend. So how it all started? So talking about that, artist signatures first became prominent during the early Renaissance, which is from 1401 to 1490 century. Artist signatures were a common practice ever since ancient time, but the way we see them today can be traced to the time of the early Renaissance. This was the time when art production shifted from the well-established cooperative guild system to a celebration of individual creativity. So it became almost individual. It started becoming individual. It did not only signify a completed work, but also indicated the period, place, and medium useful for art specialists who authenticate a piece of art. So let's take an example of the very famous artist Pablo Picasso. So Pablo Picasso signed his work in his blue period with PR, capital P and capital R. So P here for Picasso and R for Ruiz, which was his middle name. And later on, he stopped using the initials and developed a new signature that is Pablo Picasso, his full name. For artwork created in his Cubist period, his signature easily distinguishable from the geometric forms in the painting. This was the first example, but the second one is about one more very famous artist called Albert Dürer. He was a leading printmaker of German arts history, belongs to one of the oldest instances of a contemporary-like case surrounding artist signatures, known to put his trademark AD on everything from printed masterpieces to hurried sketches. Dürer went to court in both Nuremberg and Venice in order to legally protect his authorship. Both cases were won thanks to the presence of his signature. So this is how we understand that how important role a signature plays in any work of art. So now let's talk about the signatures as a part of artistic process. So it is not only just a name making on the art, but it also involved in the process of art making. So searching for hidden signatures might be an art historian's greatest professional dream, and for good reasons. Uncovering such elements of an artwork can reveal a wealth of information lost during the passage of time. From Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa's eyes to the recent case of a hidden inscription by the Australian impressionist Tom Roberts, such signatures can be true gold mines of information. So, many artists will also expend signatures with notes to themselves. So, encryptions are commonly used to keep a record of time, place, and medium. So we can say that the signature cannot be limited to just the name of the artist, but it also can include further detail of personal references. Ben Nicholson, for instance, recorded a wealth of information on the back of his board. Not only did he sign, he put the title and date his work this way, but he also made lists of used colors and the addresses of where he would be sending the work. So signing an artwork is a way of saying that the piece is complete and it doesn't need further work. It is an honest personal mark that stops as an artist to endlessly return to a piece. So these are how signature plays an important part in the artistic process. Now, importance of signing a painting. So what is the importance of signing a painting? There are a handful of contemporary artists who will tell you that signing your work is overrated and unnecessary, often claiming that a signature can ruin the composition or that the image is far more important than the person who made it. While there are cases to be made for why you might want to avoid putting a signature on a work, there are also very good reasons why having an artist signature is an absolute must. So first of all, a signature claims the ownership of the work and it proves who has created it. So believing it or not, uh, a signature is often the most unique element on the canvas, and history has shown that forgers have a lot of trouble replicating them. The other reason why you should always sign your whatever you have produced is that a signature will almost always increase that painting's monetary worth. That is also very important. You might have some doing before your signatures start carrying weight. However, but once it does, you will be glad you signed your earlier artworks. Also, when you trace some of the incidents in the history of Indian art scenes, we would find a good number of cases where many of the buyers have reported encountering fake paintings of many such notable artists like Hussain, Anjali Ila Menon, Manjeet Baba, etc. In such cases, the handwritten signatures had played a very important role in recognizing the real amongst the fake ones. This gives enough reason to sign an artwork, and it actually started being taken more seriously in Indian art scenarios after these, popular incidents. So there are few things, like an artist should always sign their paintings because why? Because it achieves three important things. Number one, authenticity. If there is no signature of the artist on the painting, it would be really difficult to trace its authenticity. It only makes sense that the creator of the painting signs the work. Second is identifying work in the future. So it may seem obvious to an artist that the work belongs to him or her, but when it moves on the other hand, and 50 years from now, someone is trying to figure out who the artist is, the signature will be extremely important, we all know. So third important point is sense of completion. So it kind of gives the artist a sense of completion. Signing a painting can give an artist a sense of completion even if it is not yet complete. An artist could wait and could work further if needed. It kind of takes us to a place of completion which may help to foresee the way of finishing a work. So this is how it is very important in a painting to sign a work. So let's talk about now the role of calligraphy in signature, because mainly here we are talking about calligraphy. So what is the role of calligraphy in signature? Like signing something is writing something simply, but how calligraphy helps? So signature is just an act of writing a name or putting an identification mark. But knowing calligraphy while putting a signature helps the artist to be more in tune as far as looking at letters as art. As a calligrapher, you know how to be open to experimentation, and you have got a knowledge base of several different ways you can write letters. It makes the signatures not only visually appealing, but also in rhythm with the whole composition of the artwork. The art of calligraphy helps the artist to perform the signature in various aesthetic ways, keeping in mind the whole concept and essence of the composition, as well as his or her individual gist. So the art of signing a painting. There goes an special art in signing a painting, and it has its rules. So one of the most rewarding moments of any painting is reaching the point where we feel satisfied enough to place our signature. This physical act signifies ownership, while the purpose of the signature is basically that of authorship, its placement and appearance also play a significant role in the overall design of a painting's composition. When thoughtfully executed, it can strengthen the composition for sure. When not, it can become distracting and weaken what is otherwise a good design. Uh, so there are basic signature considerations. Uh, there are three basic signature considerations. First is placement, second is tonality, and third is style. So talking about signature placement, the symbolic marks used to represent a signature appear artificial when compared to the rest of a painting. This draws attention to the signature. Traditionally, Western artists have tended to sign paintings in the lower right hand corner, which is very common. This is the place where the eye naturally ends when reading a printed page, and consequently has become the most comfortable. But if the right hand corner is already visually busy, the addition of a signature will draw even more attention, like irritating what may be an already fragile composition. In this instance, the next best is the left corner. The signature will still be at the bottom of the painting, which represents a closer proximity to the viewer and is therefore easier to accommodate. When neither of these corners are an option, the upper left and right hand corners become the possibility. So this is the first point about the signature placement. Now let's talk about the signature's tonality. Deciding on a hue and value of the signature again takes into consideration the amount of attention an artist wishes to bring to their signature. The more contrast the signature has to its surroundings, the more attention it will garner. Most painters want the signature to be visibly but not too intrusive, and therefore select a hue and value combination that is analogous to the area where it will reside. Conversely, it can be helpful of repeating, like it will be helpful to repeat an existing tone from somewhere else in the painting to strengthen the painting's overall color value composition. So it should always complement the work, not disturb it. So my third and last point is signature style. When it comes to the style or flair of the signature, it is important to make sure it reflects the overall attitude of the painting. A bold gestural painting can withstand a more flamboyant signature. Conversely, a quite calm painting is better suited to a modest signature. So it is a very important thing that we take prideful authorship of our work. Where it is placed, how it appears, and the personality it demonstrates are all part of the presentation. So the main thing, the main importance of calligraphy in the form of artist signature as the self-referential element of paintings. Talking about that, a signature written in the handwriting of an artist is not just a piece of calligraphy, it is the most popular element of the self-reference in a painting. So calligraphy plays a very significant role in painting. Its presence can be easily traced in almost every work of art as a most common practice of putting the signature in artists' handwriting. One of the most unconventional ways that artists can make their work stand out is with a unique signature. Signatures are unique and often reveal many things of artists' individual personalities. Those who study graphology, also known as the analysis of handwriting, believe that a person's signature can demonstrate recognizable characteristics of their personality and work. Undoubtedly, signature and handwriting can reveal one's personality. Though some heavily debate this method, we can still learn a lot about artists throughout history simply by looking at what's written at the bottom of their masterpieces. Now, this can be understood deeply by taking the example of signatures of few world-famous renowned artists and analyzing the correlation between the ways they have signed their name and the most notable features of their style of art. So first of all, the most famous artist worldwide, Pablo Picasso. When we talk about his work, as one of the most prominent artists of the 20th century, Pablo Picasso made strides in the art of cubism and is best known for works like Girl Before a Mirror and his many self-portraits. He is now one of the most well-known names in art history, and his dedication to his craft can be traced all the way back to his childhood as a prodigy in Spain. With wide strokes and spacing, Picasso's signature perfectly emulated his hard work and positive demeanor. Picasso's is one of the most famous artist signature of all. Next is Leonardo da Vinci. The signature belonging to the renowned artist behind the Mona Lisa represented his pride in his work just as visibly as his troubles. The angular style of the Vinci's signature reflected the groundbreaking contributions of his work to the art, science, and more during the Renaissance era. Talking about Frida Kahlo, we can say that Frida Kahlo was a Mexican painter known best for her masterful self-portraits and her contributions to the socialist movement of the 20th century. She took deep pride in her identity as an indigenous woman, and the slanted, spaced out lettering of her signature clearly reflects all of these characteristics. However, Kahlo lived a very troubled life, and this shown through in the way she signed her name with the changing pressure of her letters. Talking about the very latest artist and very famous Banksy. Through this English graffiti artist, true identity remains unknown. Their work has become a legendary contribution in 21st century contemporary art. Banksy doesn't have a singular signature, but each time they sign their work, the letters are boldly written with very little space in between. Their implied confidence and intelligence shine through with this style, which perfectly complements their anonymous presence. As we all know that we haven't seen Banksy, no one has seen him. So not only the presence of a signature in a painting, but its absence is also very important. So my next point is the absence of signature in a painting. Talking about this, not only the presence of signature on paintings can reveal a lot of personal information about the creator and its creation, but also its absence can indicate several possibilities and personal information related to the artist and the particular artwork. So here are a few of the reasons why artists don't sign their work. Let's understand the psychology behind not signing a work. So first point is they don't feel like it's finished. Second is they are not sure if it's good enough. Third is they don't feel worthy, or fourth is they don't want to ruin the painting. So overall, I would sum it up quickly, and come to the conclusion that the overall presence of calligraphy in the form of artist signature in almost every work of art undoubtedly indicates that calligraphy has been an integral part of painting since ages, and it will continue to be so in future as well. An artist need not be incorporating the personal aspects directly or indirectly in his or her paintings, but yet a simple art becomes a self-referential work as soon as you notice the handwritten artist's signature in some ignored corner of the painting. This is how it has been a firmly established fact that a very negligible tiny signature on a huge canvas can bring a whole lot of difference to the value of a painting. This is how deeply the art of calligraphy is embedded in our tradition of art making. How beautiful it is to realize that a painting that starts from a single thought in an artist's head slowly attains its shape with the help of the deep emotions, and finally ends with with a tiny calligraphy in the form of a signature by revealing the personality behind, and then it becomes ready to face the whole world in all its glory. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody, for bearing with me. This is Shikha Patel. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Shikha, for your presentation.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
इस सेशन में हिरल भगत मैडम, मंजू कुमारी और विशाखा कुमारी और शिखा जी ने, शिखा पटेल, इन्होंने अपना पेपर प्रेजेंट किया। थैंक यू सुरेश सर, आपने ये सेशन चेयर करने का मौका दिया।
मैम बहुत बहुत आभार, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपके समय के लिए, और आपने जिस तरह से कोऑर्डिनेट किया, बहुत आभारी हूँ और पुनः आपका धन्यवाद करता हूँ।